What is up, everybody? This is the Wild Nutrition Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Heskett, and we have episode number 50 on the books today. So 50 episodes in. Today's episode is another Unapologetic Friday. So if this is your first ever Unapologetic Friday, just know there's no editing involved here. I'm going to set a timer for about 15 minutes, get going, and I'm just going to be very unapologetic and just say whatever is on my mind. So what's been on my mind all week is metabolism. We just finished up our metabolism masterclass last night. As I'm recording this, I know I'm late getting the podcast out because of that, but I'm going to give you a little bit of detail. So if you missed out, don't worry. You're going to get a quick detail, something we went over during that masterclass. And if you want to learn more, make sure to check out the show notes so I can further help you with this. But this is why crash diets don't work, why Optavia doesn't work, why isogenics doesn't work, why your fasting protocol doesn't work. Why are there so many diets and nothing seems to work? And by work, if you're getting defensive and you're like, hey, well, I lose weight when I'm doing it, that's not the point. The point is for you to lose the weight and then keep it off. So if you're constantly losing and gaining weight, it's not fucking working. So if you're listening in the car and there's kids, just so you know, I do curse a lot. So I'm about to get started. So you might want to go back to Monday's episode if you did not listen to that and you don't want to hear curse words. That being said, 15 minutes is going. So let's get this going. Why the fuck don't these diets work? What is the problem? So on paper, the front end of things where you actually get initially started, the diets do work. So let's just clear the air. We can't deny, like myself included, we can't deny that you do said diet, you lose weight. You do Optavia, most people will lose weight on it. Okay, great. So if you're like, great, that's all I care about, you're fucked. You are absolutely fucked because you will regain all that weight back and then some. The worst mentality to go in, and this is very common, and if this is you, you need to change that today, and hopefully this podcast episode will help you. But if you're going in and you are like, I'll get the weight off and I'll worry about like keeping it off later on, like you're already fucked. You're not going to keep it off. And if you think you can, well, let's just magically think of this. So if you haven't listened to Jared Hamilton's episode, I think that was 47. It might be, just go back and you'll find it. But listen to that episode. But he says in there, I love this analogy. If you have a significant amount of weight to lose, and I snap my fingers today, and you were able to lose that weight, would you feel confident keeping it off? Today, you lost 50 pounds. You're shredded. You have that six-pack you're going for. You're just lean and toned. You're at your ultimate goal weight. Today, that happened. You find the genie bottle from Aladdin, and you get one wish, and that's the wish that you wish. Cool. But it doesn't guarantee that you keep it for life. It's the weight comes off, and now, are you confident you can keep that off? Are you? Are you sure that over the next 5 years, I don't give a fuck about the next 3 months, over the next 5 years, over the next 10 years, can you keep it off starting today? No, we got some work to do. So here's the problem. Then the problem comes down to yo-yo dieting. And while the front end of these diets work, they really fuck you up in the long term. So crash dieting, going down to this 1,200 or 1,000 calorie, or God forbid, lower than 1,000 calorie, 800 calorie diet, it's going to crash your metabolism. So if you feel like you have a slow metabolism, here it is. Here's one reason why your metabolism might be slow. And there's a variety of reasons we went over in last night's training. If you missed out, well, you need to message me if you want to learn more. We're not going to have enough time to go over 2 days worth of info in the next, we have 12 more minutes here. So when you crash diet, there's some process called metabolic adaptation. So you might hear this as broken metabolism, slow metabolism. Basically, your metabolism slows down to keep you alive. The goal of your metabolism is to keep you alive. And if you're not sure what metabolism is, because it's just this like word, we just say like speed up our metabolism. I have a slow metabolism. Like, what the fuck is metabolism? What is it? Like, can you define what metabolism is? I'll do it for you. So metabolism is all of the chemical reactions that happen within your body to basically keep you alive and build new organic structures. So it's everything that goes on to keep your heart beating, to move you around each day, to do like talking like I am right now into a microphone, all those things. So that's what metabolism is. So, it's just the chemical reactions that are happening in our life. Well, as you decrease calories, you're putting less fuel in your body. So things go down. It's like if you throw a whole bunch of fuel on a fire, you got this roaring bonfire. But as that, you slowly like put less and less fuel, that fire starts to go down. And maybe you can throw some leaves on there really quick and it bursts up, but then it disappears real quick. And slowly that fire starts to die down. Now you can speed it up by adding more wood and build it back up. But that would be adding more food. In this analogy, your metabolism is the wood is food in this analogy. So you would have to add more food to your life. So the idea, can't talk right now. So the idea here is when you crash diet, you really cut down a lot of calories, because a lot of people think, especially women, I can only eat 1,200 calories to lose weight. If this is you, you need to listen to the rest of this podcast. So if you are down to that level, your metabolism is going to slow down. It's going to start to crash because it doesn't know the difference between you trying to lose 30 pounds so you look hot on the beach and it being the 1600s, you're living in a little hut in the middle of Siberia and it's January. Like, it does not know the fucking difference. So the goal of your body is to keep you alive. So when you crash diet, you're going to downregulate, meaning decrease your thyroid hormone. You're going to downregulate leptin, which is a hormone your fat cells release to tell you to burn body fat. It tells your body fat literally releases it to release body fat into the bloodstream to be used for energy. And you're going to decrease a lot of your sex hormones like testosterone, which is really, really important for fat loss. But you know what also happens? You're going to increase cortisol, that stress hormone. That goes up during calorie deficit. And the further you get into a deficit, the more stress hormone you release. And we know this helps keep body fat around the midsection. And then you also increase this hormone called ghrelin. And this is a hormone that signals hunger. So that starts to go up. So you lose the weight. And then what do? Well, most people are just going to go back to eating how they were. Or maybe it's slightly better. Maybe like, oh, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to eat more calories. And immediately they go back to eating more. However, you have 1,000 things going against you. So if you're not tracking your shit, you're going to eat more calories subconsciously than you realize. And this is I eat really well. I don't understand. Did you track? No. But I feel like, if you say I feel like when it comes to diet and exercise and you're not seeing results, I feel like is the worst fucking thing you can say. It means that you have no data. I feel like, cool. Do you have data? No, but I feel like, no. Do you have the data? Have you tracked everything that went into your fucking mouth for 2 weeks? Do you have your workouts listed with the weights, the times, how many sets you did, how fast you ran or walked, how many steps you got? Do you have that data? No, but I feel like I'm just working really, I don't give a fuck how you feel. Do we have the data? Do we have the data to tell us if we can create predictable results? Because you know what tracking all that stuff does? It helps us determine the next move when shit's not working. Okay, are the workouts too intense? Are they not intense enough? Are we doing too much, too little? Too many calories, too few calories, too many carbs, not enough carbs, too much protein, not enough protein. It tells us that data so we can make logical adjustments. And the key point is logical adjustments to create predictable results. So you continue to get results and you continue to have success until you get to a point you need to take a break. However, if you're not doing that, guess what? It's all up in the air. Your results are random and is the reason you regain weight after a diet. Because after a diet, guess what? You just slowed down your metabolism during that diet. And most women will have a basal metabolic rate, or I shouldn't say basal metabolic rate, but a maintenance calorie level, somewhere around 2,000 calories. Yes, that's you who thinks it's only 1,200. No, it's not. Unless you're like 4'8" and like 100 pounds. Like, unless that's you, probably not listening to my podcast for one. But most women that we bring into the PWC program, when we plug their data in, their maintenance calories are going to be around 2,000. Some are higher, some are slightly lower, but 2,000 is a nice, easy number, which means you should be able to eat 2,000 calories and not gain a single fucking pound of body fat. That's what maintenance means. And if you can't, that means you fucked up your metabolism, and you need to do the next thing I'm going to tell you, which is when you lose the weight, you can't go back to eating normal. You will gain body fat. So what happens is with metabolic adaptation is as you start to lose weight, your metabolism is going to start to decrease. And the goal is to be eating less than what your metabolic rate is, which is why sometimes you need to decrease your calories further and further. Cool. Makes sense, right? Well, if you just go back to eating normal, guess what? You slow down your metabolism. So if your metabolism is slowed down, like you slowed it down by 500 calories, so you went from a 2,000 calorie diet down to 50, or 2,000 calorie maintenance, you might have dropped it down to 1,500, and you were eating, 1,200 at the end. So, okay, great. I'm just going to go back to eating my maintenance. Nope, because now you have a 500 calorie surplus. So now what's going to happen? That first week, you're going to add at least a pound of body fat, probably a little bit more. Because probably, if you're not tracking, you just skyrocketed your stress hormone during this crash diet, and you skyrocketed your hunger hormone. So you're going to be hungrier than you normally are. Food's going to taste better. That's one thing that happens when you diet. Your taste buds become more sensitive. So it's easier for you to overeat. Plus, you don't get full as fast. And then, on top of all that, your stress hormone's still elevated. So you're more likely to have cravings. And we don't have cravings for broccoli, like steamed broccoli and chicken breast. Who the fuck has craving for that? No, it's like you're going down on the ice cream, the pretzels, and you just reach your goal. So I deserve this. Cool. You do for a day. And then it's like, if you want to keep your results, like we need to go through a reverse diet period. So now if you're struggling to lose weight, here you go. Here's what a reverse diet is. You're going to slowly increase calories over time so you don't gain body fat. So you're going to add 50 to 100 calories per week until you get what your maintenance is. And if you need help figuring that out, you can use like a BMR calculator on calculator.net. It's totally free. Or you can send me a message and I'll help you out with that. We'll do like a metabolic assessment call. But you need to do that or you're going to have your metabolism be messed up. And if you've been a chronic dieter, here's what happens. So this might be you. And it is a lot of people. It's a lot of people I talk to online, a lot of women I've worked with in the past, and even some men. Men less so than women. Women tend to do more diets throughout the year and throughout their lifetime. So here's why this is such a problem. So it's January 1st. You do crash diet. You jumped onto Optavia this year. Cool. 1,200 calorie diet. You just dropped your metabolism down. You do this for, say, 12 weeks. Great. Your metabolism is slowing down each week. You're losing weight. Oh, great. I lost my 15 pounds. Awesome. I just go back to eating normal. Well, you just skyrocket your calories. So all of a sudden your metabolism isn't catching up. Now it's starting to speed up some, but not the scale's going up faster. So now you freak out. So you're like, oh, fuck. Now I have to get back on. So you go back on. So now the metabolism goes back to slowing down. So you never even reach baseline and you're slowing down again. You're slowing down even more. So now it's even lower because you were on it for a couple weeks and you slowed it down even more. So now you kind of like go back to eating normal. And then that scale goes up and you're like, what the fuck? So now it's like you try something out of desperation. You're like, I just need to do it fast or something. And so you do that and the weight comes off pretty quick. But again, the metabolism starts to slow down. You never reach baseline. So then you go and go back to eating normal. And the weight starts to come up and you just like, you're so frustrated. You're like, I'm just not going to step on the scale. Fuck this. I don't want to worry about it. I don't want to think about it. Your clothes are slowly starting to get tighter. But maybe this is a time of the year where you're wearing stretchy clothes so you can kind of avoid it. Despite knowing this is going on in the back of your mind, you're just going to avoid it. And so the scale creeps up. The clothes get tighter. And next thing you know, you step on the scale and you're like, what the fuck? I am now 5 pounds over where I started. So again, you out of desperation, and your metabolism might be almost there, but it probably isn't, because you're probably trying to restrict somewhat, and you're probably not eating your true maintenance, which is what a lot of people do, or you're eating so far over that you really go over, and that's where you gain like 10, 15, 20 pounds over where you started. So you go on another crash diet and out of desperation, but this time it doesn't work so well because your metabolism isn't fixed yet. So out of desperation, you're doing this thing and it's not working. You're like, fuck it, I'm going to try macros. I'm going to try tracking your macros. And this is when macros don't work, because you crash your metabolism so far down that now you're eating what a normal person should eat. Like, say, like for a lot of women, this is going to be 1650 to like 1800 calories. In that range is where a lot of women end up starting with us. So you start there and it doesn't work. And you're like, macros don't work for me. Calorie counting doesn't work for me. No, it fucking works. You just ruined your metabolism over trying to crash diet. And this might take a year. This can happen all within a year. This can happen over 2 years, but it keeps getting worse. You never fully recover your metabolism after each of these diets because you just never address the lifestyle factors that are putting you in these situations, and you never reverse diet out. The actual diet is only 50% of the battle. You still have on the back end the reverse diet, and that reverse diet is going to be anywhere between 50% of the time to 100% of the time you spent dieting. So if you dieted for 12 weeks, you need to spend 6 to 12 weeks reverse dieting. You heard that right. 6 to 12 weeks reverse dieting, which means that 12-week diet is closer. That's not, 3 months. That's more like 4.5 to 6 months that you need to spend in that. And the less you do dieting, the shorter it becomes. So it's much less. And this might sound frustrating. I get it. It kind of is. But now that you know, if you can't eat your true maintenance, you can't eat 1,800, 2,000, 2,200 calories without gaining weight, you need to reverse diet. You will not get amazing results until you do it. You need to go through a reverse diet. If you have been crash dieting into things, you need to do a reverse diet. So, like I said earlier, it's very easy. You just add 50 to 100 calories each week until you get back to your maintenance, as long as your appetite is there. So if your appetite stalls out, you need to stay there for a little while. Once you have an appetite again, you start increasing again until you get to maintenance. And yes, the scale will go up. Sorry. It's going to increase some. It's not necessarily going to be body fat. And sometimes people actually lose weight because your body's not as stressed out. So your metabolism actually recovers, and recovers faster than what you are putting into your body. So it actually speeds up and passes your calorie level because your hormones are starting to optimize. Your thyroid hormones going back to normal. Your sex hormones are going back to normal. You have more energy, so you're actually moving more. And all of a sudden you start losing weight. You're like, I don't get it. Like, I was eating 1,200 calories and couldn't lose weight. Now I'm eating 1,800 calories and I'm losing weight. I don't fucking get it. Well, this is why. Your stress hormones are down. So you're less likely to get overwhelmed. You have more capacity to do more things in your life. You don't get overwhelmed. A big reason why you get so overwhelmed is you're crash dieting, because your brain can't function optimally. Your body can't handle the stress load because you are the reason it's stressed out with your crash dieting. And no supplement, no metabolic reset bullshit is ever going to work. I've seen some people in the community where they're like, I'm going to do this 3-day metabolic reset and some sort of fasting thing, which slows down the metabolism since you're not eating calories. And then they're taking some supplement. If there's a supplement that actually worked for this, I did discuss this on Monday's thing. If there's a supplement that actually worked, it actually did what it said, like sped up your metabolism, we would all know about it and we would all be millionaires. Or at least one person would be a billionaire, but every coach would be using this thing. It doesn't fucking exist. There was like ephedrine and some other really intense supplements, and now they're like banned, and kind of for good reason. Like, if there is something, that's why you see like medications. anything that speeds up your metabolism has shitty, nasty side effects. If you take too much thyroid hormone, you can kill yourself. And that's probably like the best way to actually like speed up your actual metabolism is like thyroid hormone, because that's directly involved. But then you get on the back end, just like taking steroids, you might downregulate your natural production. So then on the back end, you have to fix that shit. You know, it's not just like take something and then, oh, it's magically fixed. No, there's work to be done. However, now that you know this, you know the steps you need to take to get the results. You also know why all these you're constantly enslaved to the yo-yo diet culture bullshit of Optavia, Isogenics, Herbalife, Weight Watchers, and all these other companies who just have you go through the motions and cycle on and off and on and off and do all this shit, and you get nowhere. In fact, you probably gain weight a little bit each and every year. And you might see the success stories, but for every success story that company throws out, you don't want to know how many unsuccess stories. The clients who have their hair falling out, the clients who can't sleep well at night, the clients who have their hormones in the dumpster, like their hormones have crashed and they no longer have a sex drive and it's tearing their marriage apart. You don't see that shit. You see the highlight reels on social media. You don't see what I see as a coach on the back end when I have to fix that shit because they are ruining people's lives over money. So, why is the reverse diet so important? Because you're not supposed to be eating like a fucking toddler. You're supposed to be actually eating food, like 2,000-ish calories. Like that number didn't come out of thin air that they put on the food label. That's like the average between men and women that they went. So women should be pretty close to eating 2,000 calories. And if you're active, potentially more. And if you're trying to build muscle, you need to eat even more. Like there are women that I've worked with where they're eating 2,500, 2,800, 3,000 calories during a muscle building phase. Do you know how easy it is to go out on the weekend with your spouse or significant other, with your family? How easy it is to go to birthday parties when you are eating more than 1,200 calories? Do you know how easy life is? If you don't, I can tell you right now, you don't have to stress out about food. You don't have to worry about it. It's very easy to fit that stuff in and know that it's not going to affect you. And you deserve that shit, but you need to do the work to fix the metabolism that you've crashed. And it's not your fault, but now it is your responsibility to do something about it so you actually get the results you deserve. So if you need help, there's a metabolic assessment link down in the bio. Go click that. But you're just going to add calories over time and get back to maintenance. And then you need to hang out at maintenance. This is important. You need to hang out at maintenance for a while. Minimum amount of time for most reverse diets, if you've been a long-term chronic dieter, is going to be 8 weeks. 8 weeks, guys. Not 4 weeks, not 2 weeks, 8 weeks. In that time, you're going to add 400 to 800 calories to your diet, but it might take longer. It might be 6 months. If you've been crash dieting for 10 years, you think you're going to optimize your hormones in like 8 weeks? No. You'll feel better. You'll feel a lot better, but you need a reverse diet out. So hopefully this is helpful. I know we're a little over time. So that's going to be it today, guys. Check out the show notes if this rang home with you and you need help getting started. You weren't able to attend the Fix Your Metabolism Masterclass, but you are like, shit, I wish I was part of that. And this is hitting home for you. Down the bio, there's going to be a link to do a free metabolic assessment call. And before you're like, oh, it's just a sales call. It's not. There's literally a question in there that says, this is not a sales call. And if you're interested in one-on-one coaching, you can put that you're interested. And if it's not, then you put that you're not interested. And you know what would happen if I like actually push sales for someone who's not interested? You could go on and bash me and call me a liar. Like, hey, this person said it's not a sales call and it's just a sales call. Like you could go online and say that and that would not be good for my reputation. So that's why it says not a sales call. I know a lot of people are worried about that. So just throwing that out there to be complete transparency. So yeah, I'm a coach. I work with clients one-on-one that I just explained over this entire podcast. But I also help people out for free. So check that out. Check out the other links down in the bio as well. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Happy fucking Friday, and go kill it out there this weekend.